guest speaker, guest traveling monk who has been influencing, impacting people globally. So we can see by the number of people that have come here for the lecture today, Maharaj is very, very popular. We're very happy to have him in South Africa. We want him to keep coming. I'd like to call to the Vyasa-san, His Holiness Svayam Bhagavan Keshava Swami Maharaj. So for those of you meeting Maharaj for the first time, as well as for all of us to be informed, we are privileged to present to you a spiritual author, a dynamic teacher, and a worldwide traveler. In 2002, after graduating from UCL, University College London, with a BSc in Information Management, he became a 21-year-old monk, joining in Bhaktivedanta Manor, and then continues now to travel, continues that journey 2 decades later. For over 20 years, Maharaj stayed at Bhaktivedanta Manor and studied, and then made this wonderful decision to take to the renounced order, Sannyas Ashram. He has authored 10 books. We have their books here. They're on display just as you leave the temple, in the archway of the temple there. So his books are there. Maharaj has a very, very dominant and prominent social media presence and online teaching platforms, and tens of thousands of people have been introduced to the ancient wisdom scriptures of the Vedas through Maharaj's efforts. Nowadays, he continues to travel tirelessly, sharing these timeless principles. In 2022, he co-founded an online forum, or co-founded what is called Think Gita. It's one of the fastest growing online portals for learning Bhagavad Gita in a very powerful, exciting, and definitely life-changing way. And also Maharaj has begun the School of Bhakti, which a branch of is in South Africa. Rukmini Mataji and myself have been fortunate enough to be part of that pioneering in South Africa. So we are offering courses in that institute starting 23rd of May. So please see Rukmini, myself, or call the temple reception at 031 40 333 28 and leave your name. I'll give you the number again later. So let's have another round of applause to welcome Maharaj to Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Temple.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Smriti Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on this sunny Sunday afternoon in Durban on a very special day. So Krishna explains in the Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. You may notice when you look in the world today, there's a lot of adharma, not so nice. The world is not moving in the best direction. You know the 3 biggest problems in US schools 50 years ago? Number 1, chewing gum underneath the desk. Number 2, talking in class. And number 3, cheating in exams. You've all done it, I know. You want to know the 3 biggest problems in US schools now? Physical assault of the teacher, teenage pregnancy, and gun crime. So therefore Krishna comes periodically in order to improve the situation. And so Today we're remembering Nrsimhadev, who came to remove such elements from the world. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki. Namaste Nrsimhaya. Namaste Nrsimhaya. Dala dala dadaine. Dala dala dadaine. Hiranyakasipurvakshaha. Hiranyakasipurvakshaha. Silatankanakalaye. Silatankanakalaye. Ito Nrsimha parato Nrsimha. Ito Nrsimha parato Nrsimha. Narayato yato yamitato Nrsimha. Yato yato yamitato Nrsimha. Bahir Nrsimha hridaye Nrsimha. Bahir Nrsimha hridaye Nrsimha. Nrsimha madhyam saranam prapadye. Nrsimha madhyam saranam prapadye. Tavakara kamalavare nakham adbhuta shringam. Dalita hiranyakasipu tanabengam. Keshava dhrita narhari rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Dalita hiranyakasipu tanabengam. Balo Keshava dhita narhari rupa. Keshava dhita narhari rupa. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Keshava dhita narhari rupa. Jaya Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev. Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev. Jaya Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev, Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukham karoti vachalam Pangum langhayate girim Jatkripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudhi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The ancient teacher Rupa Goswami explains that there are many, many forms of God. This is mentioned by Brahmaji, Advaitam Achutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. As many waves as you see in the sea, that many avatars of the Lord are descending. We know about some of the avatars of the Lord, but actually it is said that there are incarnations of the Supreme Lord in all the species of life. However, Rupa Goswami explains that amongst all the avatars or all the forms of God, three are known as Paravasta: Ram, Krishna and Nrsimha. Of all the forms of the Lord, these three are considered to be primary. And they are considered primary because they are in the mood of Bhakta Vatsalya. Bhakta Vatsalya means these forms of the Lord are exchanging incredible love with the devotees. And therefore, they are considered the most important forms of the Lord. However, Nrsimhadev of these three is perhaps the most difficult to understand. Because Krishna is charming, Krishna is playful, Krishna is always dancing. Ram is an ideal example, Maryad, he's the ideal husband, the ideal king, the ideal son. In all respects, ideal. But Nrsimhadev comes in a form of anger. And for most people, this is very, very difficult to understand. Most people, when they see the picture of Nrsimhadev for the first time, they have a nervous breakdown. When Prabhupada saw the picture of Nrsimhadev, the first painting that they had made, they came to show Srila Prabhupada, so he began inspecting it. He said, very good, more blood. More blood. Fierce. Anger in the world is generally not appreciated so much, isn't it? Because it's said that when you become angry, you actually kill yourself. We may have experienced, when we get angry, we actually become the victims of our own anger. The Buddha tells a story of a person who had who was in the forest and it was shot by an arrow. And he became so angry that he was shot by an arrow, that the arrow was inside him and he was bleeding. But he wouldn't take the arrow out. He said, I'm going to find the person who did this and I'm going to show them what they've done to me. And like that, for hours and hours, he refused to take the arrow out of anger. And in the end, he killed himself. Who killed him? The other person or his own anger? Therefore, Krishna says in the Gita, you have to be very, very careful when you become angry, because Krodad Bhavati sammoha, sammoha smriti vibrama, smriti bramsad buddhi naso, buddhi nashat pranashyati. As soon as there is krodha, then the next step is sammoha. You become illusioned, and the next step is smriti vibrama. You lose your memory and your good intelligence is lost, buddhi nashat, and then pranashyati. Then definitely you will do something you regret. And therefore anger is not generally something which is appreciated in the world. Anger separates us from people, isn't it? Why do you think two people, when they're angry at each other, they shout? Why? They are right next to each other. Why are you shouting? You're next to me. But when we're angry, because our hearts have become so distanced from each other, therefore people have to shout to make up the distance between the hearts. Isn't it? And it works the other way around as well. When two people's hearts are very, very close, they may be on the other side of the world, but they feel so much connected even without saying one word. They say if you can be in a room with someone and not have to say anything and understand them completely, you can understand you have met their heart very closely. So anger is usually a sign of negativity, a sign of illusion, a sign of distanced hearts. And therefore, generally, anger is something that we avoid in the world. They say 60% of employees have had the fantasy of killing their boss. We won't do a survey here. Now there are internet programs where you can upload the picture of your boss. And let it all out. So anger generally is not appreciated. But now here we have the form of the Lord, an avatar, who is considered the incarnation of anger only. How is it possible? It's possible, dear friends, because did you know there are different languages of love? In the world they write many books on this now because couples can't seem to get along. I don't know, maybe it's a new thing. So they try to help each partner understand that no, your partner loves you, but you have to understand their language of love. Because a lady, generally, she wants the man to stay there and speak to her all day. And the man, he just wants to get things done practically. And therefore, he has a different way of expressing love. She has a different way of expressing love. And therefore, sometimes there's a mismatch. What to do? Sannyas. Anyway, good luck. Good luck. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. I'm on your side. In the Brahmachari ashram, in the manor, we have a grihastha therapy bed. So what happens is all the grihastha men, sometimes it gets a little heated, you know. So we say, no problem, come to the Brahmachari ashram, we have a bed. Tell us all about your problems. So it's a win-win situation because they're happy, someone is listening to them, and all the brahmacharis are happy because they're confirmed in their lifestyle. This is a win-win. So there are different, anyway, I'd better not go into a brahmachari class at this point. There are different languages of love. Krishna's language of love is that he's very playful, very cheeky, very, very charismatic, colorful. This is how Krishna displays his love. Ram, his language of love is sacrifice, selflessness. He shows his love because he is ready to always put others before himself. And this shows an incredible way to express love. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his language of love is that he is very, very magnanimous, very, very kind. He is very, very giving. He is known as Karuna Avatar, isn't it? He gives you mercy even if you don't want it. See, sometimes if you go to Mayapur and you want mercy, then you have to come out of your room, you have to go down to the Ganga, you have to go to the Ghat, and you have to bathe in the Ganga to get mercy of Ganga. But in rainy season, the Ganga overflows, and even if you're in your bed and you're oversleeping, the Ganga comes and drowns you only. This is known as Karuna. Patra apatra vichar nahi nahi stan astan. Je jane paye tane kare prema dhan. Mahaprabhu has said he does not consider this is good place, London is good place, Durban is bad place. I had to say it that way around. He doesn't consider which is good place. Je jane paye tane kare prema dhan. He just gives love to anyone he encounters. So Mahaprabhu's language of love is to be very magnanimous. Namo Maha Vadanyaya. Very kind. And Nrsimhadev's language of love is anger. Anger. He shows the incredible love that he has for his devotee by becoming very, very angry. However, the anger of Lord Nrsimhadev cannot be compared to any of the anger of this world. Sometimes it's said that the anger of the pure devotee and the anger of Lord Nrsimhadev is like a deep ocean, and on the surface there are crashing waves. So on the surface it sounds like a crashing waves, but when you go into the ocean, then it's very, very calm. So how many of you have become very, very angry? Only on the surface. And inside, completely shanti. Ever happened to you? No. There are a few ways by which we can understand that Lord Nrsimhadev's anger is not material. There is something in this world known as spiritual anger. Some spiritual people will try to tell you that spiritual people never become angry. Well, come and join the Hare Krishna movement and you find out that's not true. No, you can also become angry spiritually. I can become angry spiritually. Wow, sounds great. Yes, but from Lord Nrsimhadev we understand how you can determine whether your anger is spiritual. The first sign that Lord Nrsimhadev's anger was spiritual was that his anger wasn't for himself. It wasn't for his own benefit. It wasn't for his own agenda. But his anger was completely selfless because he only became angry when his devotee was harmed. If you become extremely angry, not because it's anything to do with your own ego being damaged, but it's simply to do benefit to someone who is saintly, then it's a good chance that your anger is spiritual. The Lord for himself, if someone provokes him, he can tolerate. And the example is Bhrigu Muni, because Bhrigu Muni wanted to find out who is God. Is it Shiva? Is it Brahma? Or is it Vishnu? And he thought, God is definitely the one who can control anger. And so he went to Brahma, and when he came to Brahma, he just did a mental offense. He didn't offer Brahma respect. And immediately Brahmaji became angry. Then he went to Shiva, and to Shiva he didn't just do a mental offense, he did a verbal offense. He started criticizing Shiva. You are with the ghosts, you are in the crematorium, you are unclean, you are like this. Shiva was about to kill him, became angry. And then Bhrigu Muni came to Vishnu. And to Vishnu, he didn't do a mental offense, he didn't do a verbal offense, he went in and he gave him a fly kick. And as soon as Bhrigu Muni fly kicked Vishnu, Vishnu came to Bhrigu Muni and said, "Are you okay? I hope your leg didn't get injured." He could understand, my God, this is the Supreme Lord, because completely equipoised. So when Vishnu himself, for himself, even if he's offended, he doesn't become angry. But he becomes angry when the devotee is harmed. And therefore, this is the first sign of spiritual anger. It's not selfish, but it's selfless. The second sign that Nrsingadev's anger is spiritual is that Nrsingadev's anger also incorporates forgiveness. So many times in this world we become angry and then we hold on to that anger no matter what the person does. We don't know the art of how to forgive other people and allow our anger to again come down. And I remember what you told me 23 years ago on that Thursday morning when it was raining outside the supermarket shop. You were like, my God, you still remember that only? It's amazing how we just hold on. People are not able to forgive, and they're continuously angry about all the life events that happen to them. The goal of life is not to remember all the terrible things that happen to you and feel angry all the time. The goal of life is to remember all the beautiful things that are happening to you at every moment so you can feel joyful all the time. Nrsingadev, even though Hiranyakashipu was a complete upstart, was a complete rascal, still, when requested by Prahlad Maharaj, Nrsingadev said, "What to speak of your father? 21 generations will be liberated because of your bhakti. I will give all of your family members that benediction." So if someone in your family decides to become a devotee, don't give them a hard time. You're going to be the beneficiary. So like this, forgiving, very, very forgiving. Spiritual anger means that anger which is also incorporating forgiveness. Then you can understand my anger is not material, my anger is completely spiritual. Another way you can understand that Nrsingadev's anger is not material is because when it's material anger, you completely lose your intelligence, isn't it? People do crazy things. Once I met someone on the street, I was trying to distribute him a book. Anyway, we were having a conversation, and then he said, "By the way, I just came out of jail." I was like, okay. Should have told me that in the start, you know. So I was just trying to play it calm, you know, like, yeah, what did you go into jail for, by the way? He said, GBH, grievous bodily harm. I was like, okay, maybe we need to... Anyway, then I said, I don't know, somehow or other, Krishna inspired. I just said to him, "Oh, what did you do?" He said, "I was on a night out with my girlfriend and we flagged down a taxi. And as we, the taxi stops a little ahead because it, So we were walking up to the taxi and he said someone else came into the taxi. And he said, I just lost it. And right there, attacked the person. And he said, for that, I went to jail for 7 years. No, normally London's a nice place, don't worry. So that's what happens. We lose our intelligence when we have material anger. But look at Nrsimhadev's intelligence. He didn't lose it. Nrsimhadev was raging to kill Hiranyakashipu, but then he knew that Brahma had given all these benedictions to Hiranyakashipu, and therefore Nrsimhadev, in his incredible rage, was also intelligently figuring out, how am I going to actually kill this Hiranyakashipu while circumventing all of these benedictions? It's like, can you be that intelligent when you become angry? To be able to be so meticulous so that you do it in a very, very specific way so that everything is remained intact. Hiranyakashipu prayed, I will not be killed in the air or on the land. And so Nrsimhadev figured it out, I'll kill him on my lap. Hiranyakashipu prayed, I should not be killed outside or inside. So Nrsimhadev figured it out, kill him in the doorway. Like this, every single benediction was circumvented, proving that Nrsimhadev had complete clarity of intelligence at the same time as being angry. Spiritual anger, another characteristic, is that it actually makes a benefit to the world. Most of the time when we're materially angry, all of the time, then eventually what happens is everything comes down. Relationships are lost. Good atmosphere is lost. Intelligence is lost. So many things are lost. But when it's spiritual anger, then it actually uplifts the whole atmosphere. So the appearance day of Nrsimhadev, as we say, was the disappearance day of Hiranyakashipu, and also the liberation day of all the demigods. And so the spiritual anger of Lord Nrsimhadev freed all the demigods so that they could come back in the universe and restore it to its proper state. So this is what spiritual anger does. It actually makes a situation much, much better. And you'll know something is spiritual anger finally when that anger, when observed and heard about by others, encourages them to become more saintly and to become more kind, more compassionate, and more Krishna conscious. And therefore, now, for generations, we have been meditating on the anger of Lord Nrsimhadev, and by meditating on the anger of Lord Nrsimhadev, one actually becomes more and more saintly. So like this, Krishna consciousness is very, very beautiful because it shows that everything in the world has its pure form. And therefore, anger also has its pure form. When anger is selfless, when anger incorporates forgiveness, when anger means you lose no intelligence, when anger creates benefit to the world, and when anger inspires generations to come, then you cry. Then you can understand its spiritual anger. And therefore, this is the anger of Lord Nrsimhadev. So when we see this anger, we should remind ourselves, I have to be very careful about my material anger. And if in any case anger comes up, then may anger come up only according to these qualities. And that kind of anger will not degrade me, but that kind of anger will elevate me. So in a world that's so angry, in a world that's so aggressive, in a world in which there's so much animosity, the world needs to know about Lord Nrsimhadev, because then they'll be able to understand the real way and the real utilization of anger. Because anger, when utilized properly, is a language of love. But for most people in the world now, anger is a language of lust. Kama esha, krodha esha. Because we have material desire, therefore we become angry. And when we become angry, sammoha, we become completely illusioned. So in this way, on this day of Nrsimha Chaturdasi, let us pray that the spiritual anger of Lord Nrsimhadev may purify us of the tendency to become angry. Because if there's one sure way to make your life miserable, it's by allowing your consciousness to become affected by anger. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all very, very much. So it's 3:15. What do I do? Do we finish here or do we take questions? Or I don't know what the program is. Smita Krishna Prabhu, do we take questions? Or we have some time for questions. Please, anyone, no angry questions. If anyone would like to ask any question related to any of these topics or related to the anger of Lord Nrsimhadev. Thank you so much.
So, some of you are moving to the foyer because you were asked to do that for the yagya, to register for the yagya. So you can continue to do that silently. Thank you. The others, we have the opportunity to ask questions now. Here's a microphone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. One of the ways we pray to Lord Nrsimhadev is to remove the demon-like tendencies in our heart. And one of those tendencies is to sometimes be inclined towards prajalpa, whether it's indirect or direct. So sometimes, even though we may not speak about it, but we may have a tendency to want to listen to gossip. How can we pray to Lord Nrsimhadev or to remove that tendency to even indirectly engage in prajalpa?
Okay, so within us there is the tendency to gossip. Oh, so many things to say about this. Yes, we say small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, but great minds discuss wisdom. So therefore, the tendency to always talk about others, the tendency to always put others down to make ourselves feel better, the tendency to always see that everyone else has the problems and that means I'm totally fine. That tendency is very, very strong. And therefore we often spend too much time talking about things, talking about people, talking about subject matters which don't improve us. Therefore, Socrates says, wise people speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. So oftentimes people don't think before they speak. Krishna explains, before you speak, anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat svadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. Exercise some austerity of speech. And what does that mean? Speak words which are satyam, truthful. Not just that, speak those truthful words, priyam, in a way which is pleasing. And not just that, speak truthful words which are spoken in a pleasing way, hitam, so that people can actually be benefited. If your words are not truthful, if your words are not nice, if your words are not beneficial, they're not going to improve something, probably better not to say it at all. And therefore, the speech is so powerful. And in the world today, the tendency to misuse one's speech is very, very strong. And so in this way, let us remember. One person used to tell me, the head should be like an ice factory, and the mouth should be like a sweet factory. Keep a cool head and say something nice. So like that, time is short. We don't want to waste time. Prabhupada said it's like a croaking of a frog. You're croaking, speaking so many things about so many people that have nothing to do with you. And then while you're croaking, the snake of time comes behind you and devours you. So like that, let us uplift the world through our speech. This is very powerful. Less gossip. Vachit, they say in Gujarati. All right, is that okay? Anyone else? Yes. I guess you got the mic, so.
Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj. I just wanted to ask, it's a question I heard, but I wanted to ask it. Why Nrsimha and not just Shrimha?
Why Nrsimha and not just Simha? Because Stambe Sabayam Namrigam Namanusham. Because Nrsimhadev came in the Sabha, he came in the assembly. Where did he come from? The Stamba. He came from the pillar. And in what form did he come? Namrigam. Not as an animal. Namanusham. Not as a human, but as a half man, half lion. Therefore, Nrsimhadev is not just Simha. He's not just a lion. He's Narasimha. He's half man, half lion. Parashara Muni says some of the Dasa avatars are like milk. Varahadev, Matsya, animal forms. He says they are like milk, but the sweetness is lacking. And then he says some of the Dasa avatars are very, very sweet, like Krishna and Balaram. They are like sugar. But Nrsimhadev is like milk with sugar. And therefore Nrsimhadev is always like the Lord of the paradoxes. He's bringing together man and animal. He's bringing together night and day. He's bringing together the land and the sky. He's bringing together outside and inside. Therefore Nrsimhadev is the Lord of paradoxes. Therefore he is not just Simha. He is Narasimha or Nrsimha, depending on where you are in the world. Is that okay? All right.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, thank you so much for the wonderful class. I was wondering, along our own personal existential journey, when we met with that impure anger and it triggers us, and then we have the impulse to react, how do we remain in equilibrium and equipoised? Thank you.
Eat a cheesecake or something. Relax. Take a break. See, the thing is, we can't take life too seriously. This is the problem. We take life so serious. Just like, imagine there's a kid playing a computer game. Yeah, FIFA or something. So then the other team scores and the kid is like, oh no, he scored, oh my God. And the parents are watching this kid playing the computer game and they're laughing because they're just kind of like, this is a computer game, relax. And the amazing thing is, a devotee, a saintly devotee is standing outside all of them and looking at all of them and saying the whole thing is a computer game. We take life so serious. One devotee used to tell me, don't take the illusion too seriously. Just relax. So it's easy to say here, but then someone provokes you. So how do you do it in that moment? Therefore, the best thing is don't do anything. Just relax for some time, and after some time your intelligence will kick in, and your intelligence will remind you, this is not worth it. It's not worth getting into it, because in all of that anger, I am the biggest loser. Therefore, keep calm, Krishna will come. We think we have to figure it all out. And I will be the flag bearer of justice in this world to make sure that everything comes to its proper conclusion. Relax. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachitananda Vigraha. Krishna is there. He's watching everything. Krishna is the eternal CCTV. He knows everything that's going on. So don't worry. You do your best. Remain calm. Practically address issues. And then after all is said and done, you come in front of the Lord and say, I did my bit, over to you. And get your hand in a bead bag and chant Hare Krishna. All right, I think time is going. Yes, thank you so much everyone, an honor to be with you. We invite all of you to come to London sometime. In London, I have to do a little pitch here. In London we have Bhaktivedanta Manor. Prabhupada said, Bhaktivedanta Manor, when the sun shines, there's no place more beautiful. So it's nice, sunny day here. But when you see a sunny day like this at the manor, it's very beautiful. So please come. Srila Prabhupada installed their Lordship, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda is a real tirtha. And we welcome you at some point. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. So let's show our wonderful South African appreciation to Maharaj. There's a vuvuzela there somewhere. So Maharaj, thank you very much. You've inspired so many people. You've touched so many people's hearts. So as you said, even when you're going to be far away on the other end of the world, everyone's going to keep you in their hearts, and they're going to wait for you to come back, South Africa. So you have to be very regular here, Maharaj. I think this is going to be part of your tour. We're going to wait for you. So Maharaj leaves South Africa on Wednesday. He is off to New Jagannath Puri to give the class there at 4:30. Just by show of hands, anybody going over to NJP? All right. So we want to organize this place, this room for the temple room for the yagya. But before we do, Maharaj's books are available. Radharaman Prabhu's and Priya Kishori are out there in the foyer. So these are the titles: Gita Life, Gita 3, Tattva and Book Bhagavata, Those are the books that Maharaj has here. And this Bhakti Vision is a new publication from His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj. So Maharaj may be there for a few minutes because I know he'll have to go off to NJP. But I don't think we have time for signing now, right? Yeah. So if you get the books, we'll see how best we can make an arrangement to have those books autographed at some stage before Maharaj leaves. Talk to Radharaman and Priya Kishori. So what we need to do is all of those of you are not taking part in the yagya. I'm going to hand this over to Ulika in a minute. So if you're not taking part in the yagya and you are going to remain here, we're going to need you to reposition yourselves to allow those who are taking part in the yagya to be seated in that vicinity there. So, before you go, I need you to give Tulsi a lift to NJP. Yeah, Tulsi, you got place for one. Yeah. No, she's taking care of her own. Yeah, just yeah, only her. Just to feel it. Not going. So. Yes.
Just to get parking.
Okay. You sorted. So thank you very much again. We just want to do this in an orderly way as possible. So Alanath Prabhu and team, Rupa Vilas Prabhu and team are setting up the chairs and so on. And Olika Mataji, please come forward. I'm going to leave this to you in your capable hands. Hare Krishna!